We have made it to roughly the middle portion here in the regular season of year number 4 of the Portland Trail Blazers MyNBA franchise here on NBA 2K24. And this season has been an interesting one. We have dealt with the highs and the lows, but we're currently 17-16, finally back over 500. We've played pretty good basketball over the last month or so, despite the fact that our team has been super banged up. We had our first prospect profile in the last episode, going over some of the top projected players in this year's draft, which is relevant because we will likely have a somewhat high pick. If one of us or the Heat are bad, then that's going to be a lottery pick, and both us and the Heat are both kind of on the fringe, as we're currently in 10th place in an ultra-competitive Western Conference with a bunch of teams very much alive and well in the race. The Heat are currently in 7th place in the East for what it's worth, another super competitive conference for the most part. As we take a look at where we are injury-wise, it's currently only Anthony Simons and Ochai Agbaji, but both of them are probably going to miss for the next month or so, which is obviously a big deal. Of our core 7 guys, those are 2 of them. We've had Agbaji out pretty much all year, but the Simons injury is a relatively new one, and we're going to need some more scoring from the second unit. The idea that I had was to bring Khalil Griffin off the bench. Of our core 7, he's the only guy who has played in every game this year, and he's been playing really well. We've needed him to step up and be consistent with the amount of injuries we've had so far, and he's done a good job of that, taking a real leap here in his second NBA season, averaging around 17, 8, and 3, and he's doing it on really solid efficiency. The field goal percentage is lower than last year, but still really good. He's played very well over the month of December, double-double machine, and he's been, again, super consistent throughout the entire season. Only one game this year scoring in the single digits, which is incredible for somebody who's 21 years old and isn't the first or second or even third scoring option on the team. I think for now, though, I'm going to keep him in the starting lineup because he might just be too good to take off the bench. But I do want to stagger the minutes of our best players so we can always have 1 or 2 of our starters on the floor at all times. Zay Logan will be the main engine of the second unit. He's been playing really well, and I am confident in him. And then the young guys like Suleiman, Robinson, Wisham, and Bengaro are going to continue to get minutes as well. So we're going to simulate our next 3 games. I've had this Minnesota matchup circled on the calendar for a little while, being that we played against the Timberwolves last year in the playoffs. We were the number 1 seed, they were the 8th seed, and we ended up sweeping them. But now the roles are reversed. Minnesota's in first place, and we are in play-in territory. We've got 3 games against the Knicks, ironically the Heat, definitely hope we win that game, and then the Magic. The Knicks are super young, they're not a great team. The Magic also are not great, and Paolo Banchero is hurt. As we get offered this trade from the Pacers, and it's an interesting one. Lauri Markkanen and Bruce Brown for Porzingis and Wisham. In terms of fit, it doesn't make sense, though. We'd be losing out on a lot of size. The Bucks, who are currently in first place in the East, offer us R.J. Barrett and Bobby Portis for Darius Springer and Armani Robinson. Yeah, no, I'm going to pass. We ended up going 2-1, blowing out the Knicks and the Heat, and then losing to the Magic. We really should have beat Orlando, and I'll explain why in a second. But 2 blowout wins is really nice. And again, I get that the Knicks aren't a great team. They have a bunch of rookies. But still, good to see the guys performing well on both ends of the floor. 32 and 10 for Springer, 27 for Sharp. And then we blow out the Miami Heat as well. Quiet game for Dame, 22 points, but on 20 shots. 41 for Shaedon Sharp, plus minus of 42. You may notice there's a polar bear here in the group of plus minuses. Everybody has a super big number, and then Bengaro is negative 10. Scoot with a rebound away from a triple-double. Porzingis was 28. And then the Orlando game, we were up by 4 with like 8 seconds left. Sidney Hermano hits a 3 to bring it within 1. You'd think the Magic would go and foul. They didn't, so we should have ran the clock out. But Darius Springer takes a 3, misses it. Magic get to call a timeout. And PJ Washington, who's averaging 3 points a game this season, hits a game-winning 3 for Orlando. That might be the stupidest way to lose I think I've ever seen. So with that, the Blazers fall to 19-17, and we wrap up the road trip, and we have to head across the country from Orlando to Portland for a back-to-back, facing off against the number 1 seed out west, Minnesota. Pretty similar to the team we beat last year in the playoffs with Elias Sharp and Anthony Edwards, the dynamic duo in the backcourt. They've still got Karl Anthony Towns. They've still got Rudy Gobert. They now have Jalen McDaniels, not Jaden. Jalen McDaniels starting. They have Sua Talonyi, the rookie, who's been a really good pick for them. He's basically a Sar Thompson in the sense that he can score inside. He's an unreal defender, and he cannot shoot the three ball to save his life. But he's made an impact for them off the bench, and other guys like Trey Mann and Naz Reid have given good minutes for the second unit as well. Minnesota's one of the best defensive teams in the league. Our offense could have some trouble after a few really good scoring games in a row. The Timberwolves, of course, in first place, while we have moved up from 10th to 7th, continuing to climb in the West after what was obviously a disastrous start to the season. Regular starters here for the Blazers. Minnesota will mix up the starting lineup. Sua Talonyi, the Australian rookie, will start at the 3 instead of McDaniels, and Naz Reid will start at the 5 instead of Gobert. The tip goes to Porzingis and the Blazers, and we are underway here in Portland as the top-seeded Timberwolves face off against the Blazers in a Western Conference playoff rematch from a year ago. Griffin's trap gets it over to Scoot Henderson with the crossover. Henderson inside with the layup. We did not get to see Scoot Henderson at full strength last year against Minnesota. He was super banged up, and Elias Sharp, the other point guard, really out-dueled him. There's a nice slam. Good cut off the ball by Naz Reid. Off the assist by Edwards as Sharp pokes it away from Sharp. No relation. He gets it to Anthony Edwards, who hits the jumper in transition to put Minnesota ahead. Talonyi up the floor, gets it to Anthony Edwards, having another great season as he is snuffed. The Zinger, Kristaps Porzingis with the denial. On the inbound, Talonyi in the baseline, gets it to Elias Sharp. He finds Ant-Man, hoping somebody gets open as he gets the screen from Talonyi. 3 on the move is good, and Edwards has 7 early points for the Wolves as they lead 9-6. Naz Reid with it, looking to get some space. Drives left side, and Naz Reid is in with the throwdown as it's 11-6. Portland off to a slow start, looking to pick it up. And that's one way to do it. A reverse slam for the point guard, Scoot Henderson. And it's now 11-8. Here's Griffin with it, guarded by Talonyi, an elite defender on the perimeter as he finds Shaedon Sharp. Makes a nice play off the ball, finds the open lane, and is in for the dunk as it's now 11-10. Here's Sharp, guarded by Sharp. Fadeaway 3-ball is good for Elias Sharp, the former Rookie of the Year in his 3rd season out of the University of Illinois. Sharp gets it over to Khalil Griffin with the slam! A poster over Naz Reid. It's been a rough one so far defensively for Naz. He's gotten dunked on twice. Here's Springer. Floats it up. No good. Griffin with the offensive rebound. Minnesota not there to contest the putback as we're now knotted up at 16. Portland looking strong over these last few minutes, but the Timberwolves respond in a big way. Anthony Edwards hits the 3, and the Blazers call time. 19-18. Here's Sharp on the drive. Blocked! It's the rookie, Ashton Wisham, with the denial. Wisham to Springer in the corner for Zay Logan, who hits the 3. Portland on top. Great ball movement there in transition by the Blazers. Everybody getting the rock, play not potato. As Sharp is snuffed, Wisham again. Minnesota gets the ball back, though, and Naz Reid hits the 3. But look at Ashton Wisham. 2 early blocks off the bench. Here's Logan. Spin move. Layup is good for the second-year forward out of Alabama State, continuing to have a great season off the bench. Edwards for Reid. He's blocked again. Welcome to Ashton Wisham's house. This rookie's got a fly swatter on defense. 25-22. Edwards floats it up and in. Good defense by Sharp. But Edwards gets the layup. He's off to a great start here this first quarter as the pass is tipped by Mann, stolen by Cat in transition. Mann looking to get some room. Drives left side, and it's good off the glass. And the Timberwolves are back on top. 26-25, minute and a half left in the first. Edwards pops the triple, and he hits it. 15 for Edwards already. That's over half of Minnesota's scoring. Towns, wide open, knocks down the 3. You can't let the greatest shooting big man in the history of the NBA that wide open. Sharp, step back at the end of the quarter, no good. Rebounded by Gobert, and that'll do it for quarter number 1. The Wolves lead at 33-25. Portland hung in there, but over that last minute or two, we really struggled on both ends. Got to keep things rolling, or else Minnesota could turn this into a blowout. That was Wisham, who got a hand on it off the failed alley-oop, And on the other end, Khalil Griffin hits the three. Good shot by Griff. That's Portland's first three of the entire game. Haven't gotten anything going from beyond the arc. 0 for 6 in the first quarter. Sharp with an incredible acrobatic layup, doing a little bit of everything with 8, 4, and 3. Suleiman to Sharp. Sends it home and one! Shaded Sharp with a powerful slam. Portland starts the second quarter on an 8-0 run, and we're tied at 33. Sharp looks to get by multiple defenders as he splits Sharp and Griffin. And he is in for the lay. 35-33. Sharp gets by Suleiman, lobs it up for the rookie, Sua Talunyi, who sends down the slam. Tre Mann looking to get a pick and roll. Gobert is covered, so he takes the shot and it works out. He makes it. Count the foul as well, and one. 40-37. Here's Elias Sharp with it. He's doubled. Somebody's going to be open. Don't leave Cat open from three. That's just a disaster. I get Armani Robinson was trying to play help defense there, but you can't leave Cat open. Here's Scoot with the poster over Sharp. Oh me, oh my. Scoot Henderson going up, and away. Wow. What a slam for Scoot Henderson as it's 43-39. Minnesota moving it around on the perimeter. Here's Sharp for three. It's good. And Minnesota's been able to build that lead back after Portland started the second quarter on a big run. 46-40. Good cut off the ball from Springer on the inbound to get the slam. Flex on him, young man. Good pass as well by Logan. Here's Scoot Henderson. Somehow makes the layup. What a play for Scoot as it's 48-46. Super competitive game against the best team in the West so far. Mann in the corner. Edwards, three. No good. Rebounded by Gobert. Back to Edwards. Trapped inside. He gets it to Mann. To Cat. To Talunyi. The Minnesota Timberwolves are playing hot potato with the ball. Edwards' shot again is no good. Gobert with another rebound. And Edwards is blocked. That's Griffin with the snuff. What a defensive possession there by the Blazers. You can't let Minnesota get 3 shots, but still, great D. Ayo. Edwards' jumper no good. Griffin with the rebound. Edwards clutching at his leg. It's a 5-on-4 as Griffin has Scoot. Scoot's pass is tipped, gets it back over to Porzingis. Open jumper is good, but the concerns on the other end of the floor. Anthony Edwards grabbing at his knee. If this is a serious injury, this could completely shift the Western Conference landscape, and unfortunately for Minnesota, it is. Right knee tendonitis for Anthony Edwards, and that's an injury that's likely going to keep him out to the All-Star break. A massive loss for the Western Conference's #1 seed. Portland quickly looking to make quick work of the injury as Scoot Henderson gets the and one. Deficit down to 1. Here's Sharp, backs down on Mann, out to Porzingis. Jumper in the corner is good, and now Shaedon Sharp is hurt. Both teams have had their top scorers get hurt within the span of minutes. Sharp is clutching at his chest. This feels really similar to the Porzingis injury earlier in the year against the Celtics when he collapsed his lung. And sure enough, that's exactly what happened here with Shaedon Sharp. He got tangled up with Tre Mann, and that's a pretty serious injury. It's not going to keep him as long as Edwards, who's going to miss like a month or two. Sharp is likely going to miss around 2 weeks. So now both teams have lost their best players here in the first half, and things are going downhill. The Blazers get the lead, though, looking to rally for Sharp as it's Springer with the jumper, 56-57. Tre Mann open 3, knocks it down, and the T-Wolves are right back on top, 59-57. Porzingis with it. Sends in the drive, it's good, count the foul, and 1 for Porzingis. He's fouled by Naz Reid, and the Blazers are back on top. Lead's being passed around like a blunt. Why stop? Naz Reid hits the 3 for the Wolves. Now we're tied at 62. Griffin with 14, 5, and 5. On pace for a triple-double. Gets it to Scoot Henderson. He makes the layup, and the Blazers are back up by 2. 64-62, and that'll wrap up the first half. Super competitive game. The Blazers are really playing well against the #1 seed in the Western Conference. But overall, both teams have to be feeling pretty deflated. Each of their best players have suffered pretty serious injuries, especially Minnesota with Anthony Edwards. So, obviously, that's not ideal for either side, and it's going to change things, not just at the top of the Western Conference playoffs, but with us and Sharp, could change some things towards the play-in section. As Sharp hits the three for Minnesota, they get the scoring started here in the third. 69-70, Blazers up. Scoot's pass is intercepted by Mann. In transition, Talonyi to Elias Sharp. He hits the triple, and the Wolves are back ahead. 72-70, Springer. Crossover to Porzingis, out to Griffin. Heavily contested jumper for Griffin is good. He's got 16, 8, and 7. The triple-double for him is very much in play. It'd be the first of his career as Towns hits the jumper over Griffin to put Minnesota ahead, 76-74. Reed misses the dunk. Blazers end up with it at Suleiman. In transition, Logan to Armani Robinson, the rookie, out of the Ohio State University. He's in with the and one. A lot of and ones today, especially from Portland. 76-77 now, Reed. His pass is stolen away by Malachi Suleiman. Takes it himself with the slam. Big dunk for Suleiman, who hasn't scored yet, but he makes most of his impact not by scoring the ball, but as a playmaker and as a defender. There's Wisham with the steal. He's been unbelievable all night defensively. Takes it himself to the cup as he's in for the slam. Great play in transition by the rookie out of St. Louis, Ashton Wisham. 78-83. Scoot Henderson jumper no good. Bengaro, offensive rebound and put back. Nice play there by Fritz Bengaro as the Blazers lead by 7. Biggest they've had the lead all day. Elias Sharp knocks down a jumper. Big shot for Minnesota. They couldn't buy a bucket there for a couple minutes. Henderson, crossover. What a play by Scoot Henderson, switching hands midair. I'm surprised Minnesota didn't make a play on that ball. 89-82. Henderson throws it down. What a slam by Scoot Henderson off the assist by Robinson. Wow! Some power with that one. It's a 9-point game as it's Logan with the block. In transition, Robinson, Henderson, step back three is good. And the Blazers lead by a dozen just like that. 82-94, Minnesota gets the last shot here in the third. Sharp with the screen from Gobert heaves up a three, and it's no good. Big quarter for Portland, who led by 2 going into the half. Now they lead by 12. The Trailblazers have been on fire on both ends of the floor these last few minutes as Gobert is blocked to start the fourth by Porzingis. On the other end, bang! It's Griffin who hits the three for the Blazers. They now lead by 15. Here's Mann. Heaves up a prayer. Father, Son, Holy Spirit, it's good! What a shot by Trey Mann as it's 85-99. Griffin out to Suleiman, who floats it up and in. Nice play there by Malachi Suleiman. Griffin now with 9 assists as Logan has it stripped away inside by Sua Talonyi. In transition, somebody's open on the wing. That's Terrence Mann, who is inside, and his shot is blocked. I think Logan and Springer both got a piece of that one. Gobert on the other end of the floor injured for Minnesota. 5-on-4. Griffin, open three is good. It's a 19-point game as Gobert is grabbing at his elbow. The injury bug is alive and well today. 3 injuries in this game to key players. First it was Edwards and Sharp. Now Rudy Gobert for Minnesota. So a rough day for the number 1 seeded Timberwolves. Not only do they trail by 20, but 2 of their key players hurt. Jumper no good. Talonyi with the offensive rebound, and the rookie gets the putback. Looking to claw Minnesota back into this game, shorthanded though, as Griffin backs down on Mann. He's got Suleiman out to Springer with the drive and the layup. Quiet game for Springer, only 12 points and 4 rebounds, but the Blazers haven't needed him to have a big game. Griffin backs down on Mann. He gets it to Scoot Henderson. Jumper is good. And for Khalil Griffin, that's his first career triple-double. 24, 10, and 10. Looking for assist number 11 as Logan misses the three. Scoot flies in with the rebound. He's blocked. Springer with the rebound and the putback. Third time's the charm for the Blazers. 112-93. Sharp in the corner. Reed. Three is good. And the foul. What a play for Naz Reed. Minnesota's going to hang you around at least for a little while longer as the layup is good for Khalil Griffin. 26 points now for Griff. And the lead is to 16 with about 4 minutes to go. Minnesota hanging on a prayer as the floater's no good. Ball is tipped. Ends in the hands of Springer looking to run the floor. He's got Logan. Fade away. 3 ball. It's good. Zay Logan sinks for 3. It's a 19-point game. Reed inside. No good. Nice defense by Porzingis. Portland looking to put a bow on this game for good. Griffin, jumper, no. Springer with the rebound and the putback. Big fourth quarter on the offensive glass for Darius Springer. It's a 20-point game now. Portland looking to add some more fireworks. Springer with the Euro step and the finish. Bullying Karl Anthony Towns, and that'll do it. 131-105. The Blazers win by 26. This game never really felt like a blowout. I mean, Minnesota had the lead with like 3 minutes left in the third. It was a super close game for a while, and then Portland just kind of caught fire over the last really 13 minutes of the game, absolutely dominating. But both teams had some injuries today. 30-12 for Scoot, 30-12-10 for Khalil Griffin, his first career triple-double. Both of them were fantastic. 20 for Springer, 15-10 for Porzingis, 12 for Logan. Sharp was playing pretty well with 6 assists in the first half before he got hurt. And shout out Ashton Wisham with 4 blocks. Only 6 of 18 from 3. We really did not try to shoot the 3 ball at all because it wasn't falling. 27-10 for Sharp, 21 for Trey Mann, double-double for Towns. Reed was solid. Edwards was playing really well before he got hurt. So let's talk about these injuries. For us, it's Shaedon Sharp. He's going to miss around 2 weeks with a collapsed lung. We now have 3 shooting guards who are hurt. We only have 2 guards basically on the roster, essentially. And we're going to need more. At Victor Oladipo's current stage of his career, I don't really think he's going to give us rotation minutes. So as much as I want to keep him for the vibes, we're going to cut him and sign Auden Banks, a 22-year-old wing from, I believe, the Overtime Elite program. Really good scorer inside, good mid-range shooter. Not a great three-point shooter or defensive player, but he's a slasher and he's athletic. He's going to get some minutes for us off the bench. Zay Logan will slide into the starting lineup at the 3, and Malachi Suleiman will patrol the bench. Big opportunity upcoming for Logan as we're going to simulate our next 7 games. This is honestly a pretty easy stretch leading into the Dallas game. Obviously, the Spurs in Minnesota is going to be pretty tough, but the rest of these games are all pretty winnable. The Suns are solid. The Hawks are solid. The Jazz are fine. But I think we can win 4, maybe 5 games in this stretch. Hopefully, one of the games against Minnesota or San Antonio, we can take care of business. I'm especially excited to see what Logan can do with the big role. And sure enough, in the first game against Atlanta, he sprains his right elbow and is going to be out for around 2 weeks. Just great. So we now have 4 injuries. That's basically half the rotation. Ashton Wisham is going to slide into the lineup. Porzingis will move to the 4. Springer will move to the 3. Griffin to the 2. We're going to be running a super big lineup. The Sixers offer us an interesting trade here. Malachi Suleiman and a second for D'Angelo Russell. I think D'Lo really fits what we need. We need more scoring guards off the bench with all these injuries, and he's been a consistent bucket getter for a decade. Problem is, I'm not willing to trade Suleiman. I really like what he's been able to provide for us this year, and if we do get a guy like D'Angelo Russell or somebody else, he's not a guy I would want to trade. The Thunder want Malachi Suleiman. They're going to offer us Cheick Doucouré in his 3rd year, former lottery pick. I still think there's some upside with him, but again, I'd rather keep Malachi Suleiman. I'm really happy with how he's played along with Griffin. He's played every game this year. Whoa, look at this trade. Trae Young and Nick Richards for Scoot Henderson. We're not going to do it, obviously. Trae's on the last year of his deal. Scoot Henderson's been playing really well as of recent here in January. So, no, not a chance. But I guess credit to the Bulls for trying. I mean, Scoot's averaging like 22, 8, and 7 this month on great splits. And he's been a big reason why we're winning games. We ended up going 5-2 in the stretch that we simulated. So I predicted we'd win around 5 games, hopefully, and that's exactly what happens. And we did it without half our lineup. Of our core 7 guys, 3 of them didn't play. And with the role that Zay Logan's had this year, you can make the argument that it has become a core 8. So of our 8 regular high minute getters, half of them didn't play. We had 4 guys and a bunch of bench players, and we went 5-2, beating some good teams, specifically another blowout against Minnesota. We beat them by 21, along with handling business against Atlanta, the Suns, the Clippers, and the Nuggets. We had some offensive stinkers, scoring 88 here against the Jazz. Griffin and Springer went like 3 for 21, but they've been playing really well recently, so I'll give them a pass. Griffin here again, 34 points against the Wolves, 29, 10, and 5 for Scoot. The three-point shooting was outstanding. Ironic, because the game we just played against Minnesota, we couldn't shoot the ball at all. We're now in 6th place in the Western Conference, but we have the 2nd best point differential, interestingly enough. And I feel like that's a sign of things to come that we're going to continue to improve. Despite our success, we're getting no all-star love. The only guy in the top 10 for voting is Darius Springer, who is in 10th place for front court voting. I don't get this at all. Springer, for one thing, should be higher. There's no reason he's lower than Brandon Ingram, Julius Randle, Bam Adebayo, even Cat. Cat's on the 1 seed, so I get it, but those other 3 guys, no. Scoot Henderson's been on an absolute tear. We're in the big 2027. How is Kyrie Irving ahead of Scoot Henderson when Scoot's beating him in every statistical category, and we're better than Dallas? Speaking of Dallas, we're going to be playing against them next, and this is a really big game because we're in 6th, they're in 7th, and they're a game behind us. Obviously led by Luka Doncic, and I think they've built this roster really well around Luka, which is why he signed a big extension in the offseason. Kyrie, Griffin, Siakam, Jalen Duren, Jaden Hardy, Miles Turner. I don't see how this team is in 7th place. I think their roster is really, really good. As for us on the injury front, I was hoping Shaedon Sharpe would be able to go today. He will not. But Zay Logan's pretty much fully healthy, so he will return. We're not going to have him start. We're going to keep Wisham with the ones. I think we're going to need some extra rim protection with Jalen Duren and Miles Turner along with their slashing guards. But we're still going to see plenty of Zay Logan, who is now fully 100% healthy from the elbow injury. So let's hop into, in my opinion, one of the biggest regular season games all year for the Trailblazers on the road against the Dallas Mavericks, who are currently a game behind us in 7th place while we are in 6th place. I'm surprised this Dallas team is not in the top 6. I really like their roster. Obviously, Luka Doncic is a perennial MVP candidate. They have star power around him with Kyrie and Siakam. They've given him shooters like AJ Griffin, Grant Williams, and the 6th Man of the Year frontrunner Jaden Hardy. They've given him size as well, trading for Miles Turner on draft night, trading for Jalen Duren in season. This is a really, really good team, and we've got our work cut out for us as Porzingis wins the tip over Miles Turner. And we are underway here in the Big D. Ayo! Get your mind out the gutter. Here's Kyrie on the drive, makes the layup over Griffin. I think the Kyrie and Griffin matchup is going to be really interesting because Khalil Griffin's a 6'7" forward. He's not really a guard, but I think he can handle Kyrie's quickness and shiftiness. AJ Griffin hits the 3, no relation, as it's 5-2. Blazers running the floor, Khalil Griffin with it. Drives inside, and the layup is good. While I think the Kyrie Irving on offense versus Khalil Griffin battle on defense will be fun, Griffin should have a field day with Kyrie on offense. No excuse not to score 25. As Doncic hits the 3 for the Mavericks, they lead 10-6. Here's Luka with it, gets it to Miles Turner, a player the Blazers coveted in the offseason before Dallas traded for him, as he finds Luka with the slam. That's what makes Luka so good. He's dynamic on the ball. He's dynamic off the ball. He does everything on offense. As the lob will fall for Turner. Great pass by Luka. Mavs up big early, 14-6 as Springer loses it. Siakam with the steal. Out to Luka, who's in with the slam. Portland calls time. They are struggling so far, down 16-6. Here's Scoot. Step back. 3-ball, no good. Kyrie Irving, my brother, you've been in the league for 16 years. You should know the rule. Don't foul the jump shooter. As Scoot will make all 3, and it's 16-9. Here's Scoot with it. Crossover. Inside with the finish. Scoot Henderson with the slam, and it's 11-16. It's been a rough start offensively for the Blazers, other than Scoot, who's got 7. Irving with the drive, and Kyrie Irving gets the layup, 13-18. Here's Griffin with it. Out to Malachi Suleiman in the game early. He's in with a layup, and count the foul. And 1 for Suleiman, and it's a 1-score game. Suleiman guarding Doncic. That should be a fun matchup. Little pick and roll action here for Miles Turner, who hits the floater to put the Mavericks up by 4. 20-16. Suleiman out to Griffin. Drives right side. Layup is good for Khalil Griffin, and the lead is cut in half to 2. 20-18. Here's Jaden Hardy, averaging over 20 a game off the bench. To Turner. To Griffin for 3. A.J. Griffin with the triple for the Mavericks, and they are back up by 7. Suleiman with it inside. Jumper over Luka's no good, and Suleiman is in pain. The injuries are just going to keep on coming. Luka jumper won't fall. Duren with the rebound. Out to Siakam. Wide open corner 3, no good. Duren with the rebound again. Hands it off to Reddish for the layup. But unfortunately, the big concern here is with Blazers guard Malachi Suleiman grabbing his ankle. along with Khalil Griffin. Suleiman is the only other Blazer to have played every game this year, and with all the injuries, he has gotten a much bigger role. He's basically the sixth man now, and with him out, Scoot Henderson's the only healthy lead guard on the roster. Following Mavericks possession, it's Killa Cam Reddish for three. Man, I've missed saying that. 30-18, Dallas up by a dozen. Banks inside, no. This is getting bad quickly. The Mavericks looking to add to the lead as Siakam throws it down, and Dallas is up by 14 points here in the first quarter with 2 minutes left. Banks to Robinson, inside for Porzingis. Portland cannot buy a bucket. They need someone to score as Porzingis hits the fadeaway over Jalen Duren. 20-32, Siakam heaves up a prayer, and it's good. What a shot by Pascal Siakam. It's a 15-point game now. Logan blocked at the rim. That's Jalen Duren who got a hand on it. On the other end, Reddish out to Jaden Hardy. He hands it off for Siakam, who makes the layup. And the score of this game is now 37-20. Yikes. Here's Luka with it. Siakam, 3-ball. It's good. The Mavericks lead by 20 in the first quarter. 40-20. Scoot Henderson with the drive. Finally, the Blazers get some more points. He makes the layup. 22-40. Here's Doncic with it. Has it tipped away by Logan. Keeps it. Luka makes the floater. I don't know how this guy does it. He's like a magician inside. Here's Armani Robinson for three. No good. Portland 0 for, I think, 8 from 3 in this first quarter. Reddish sends one up for Dallas. No. Luka somehow gets the rebound at the buzzer, and that one won't fall. And that is how the worst quarter of our season comes to a close. The Mavericks lead 42-22. Malachi Suleiman suffers likely a serious ankle injury. Yeah, we are not having fun right now. Let's move into the second quarter. The only place that things can go is up, right? Well, that's not a good start. Luka Doncic hits the three. Dallas is up by more points than we have. Springer on the drive in the corner. Kicks out to Khalil Griffin. Finally, the Blazers knock down a three after starting the game 0 for 8. 25-45. Doncic, triple. It falls. Luka, once again. He's got a lot of points so far, as it's 27-48. Doncic, jumper. It's good. He's up to 21 on the day, as the Mavericks are up by a lot. Here's Kyrie. Has it tipped away by Bangaro. He keeps it, though. Inside for Siakam, who gets the dunk. And the Mavericks, now their biggest lead of the game at 25. 27-52. A lot to a little. Springer misses inside over Jaden Hardy. That's the type of game it's been. On the other end, Siakam chucks one up. Won't fall. Duren with the rebound. Kyrie for three. It's good. And now the Mavericks lead by 28. The second quarter started 2 minutes ago, guys. Springer in with the slam. Portland, they just need to get something going. They're playing for pride at this point. That shouldn't be the case in the second quarter. But for Christ's sakes, we're down by 28. Jaden Hardy with the slam, 29-57. Hardy with it, gets by Logan. Hardy with the and one slam, and the deficit moves up to 30. I didn't think this lead could grow anymore. But Dallas is continuing to dominate. With the Hardy three throw, they will take a 60-29 lead. We are 12 minutes into the game and have allowed 60 points. Nice dunk by Kristaps Porzingis. Good pass by Scoot Henderson, who might have to play the rest of the game because there's no other point guards on this team. Off of the offensive rebound from Duren, it's a Kyrie Irving three, and it's a 32-point lead. The deficit just keeps growing and growing and growing. Griffin three, no good. Porzingis will make the putback, and that's going to cut the lead all the way to 30. Not for long, that is. It's back at 32. Here's Irving. Drives left side. Layup no good. Duren tips into the hands of Kyrie. He's doubled. Blake Wesley open three. No good. Duren, another offensive rebound. Can somebody stop him? Third time's the charm as he gets the putback. The effort on the glass has just been pathetic tonight. Dallas is getting offensive rebounds left and right. Finally, a rebound. And it ends up with Porzingis having it stripped away and injuring his knee, leading to a Dallas bucket. Yeah, that's just the kind of day it's been. For the Portland Trail Blazers, nothing is going right. And now things get worse with Kristaps Porzingis grabbing his knee. And once again, one of our core players is injured. Fantastic. The Blazers, I think, have 6 guys hurt. If nothing else, they will get an and one on the following possession from Darius Springer. He would miss the free throw, though. 41-73. Here's Auden Banks III with it inside. No good. And Wisham with the rebound. Put back and one. Nice play there by Ashton Wisham. He's fouled by Kyrie Irving. He also would miss the free throw because apparently God hates us. Here's A.J. Griffin. Euro steps on Robinson for the dunk. 43-75. Scoot Henderson with it. Somebody's open in the corner. It's Darius Springer. His smooth lefty stroke sinks it once again. 48-77 now. Luka out to Kyrie Irving. Sinks for 3. 32-point game once again. The deficit will not go down. Scoot Henderson with it on the drive. Somebody's going to be open again. Darius Springer once more. And now the Blazers are starting to shoot the 3-ball well. And the lead has gone all the way down to 27. Don't call it a comeback yet, kids. Wisham with the block. Banks with it on the other end. Back to Wisham. And he misses a bunny. Yeah. 80-53 still. Here's Luka with it. Bullying Auden Banks. Makes the layup. Lead sits at 29. Doncic with 25 points total on the day. As it's now 55-82. Minutes ago in the half. Luka, 3. Over Griffin. The Mavericks might have 90 points by halftime. That's absurd. Here's Khalil Griffin with it. Step back. 3-ball. Knocks it down. Nice shot for Griffin. If you're looking for a positive, at least the offense has been good. Even though we're on pace to allow 180 points and our defense is playing like the guys in the NBA All-Star game last night. But at least we're scoring, I guess. Another step back 3 for Griffin is no good, and that'll wrap up the first half. I did not think things could get worse after the first quarter. I was wrong. They did. The Mavericks scored 48 points in the second quarter, and Kristaps Porzingis suffered a non-contact knee injury. Welcome to this edition of the Portland Trail Blazers and the no good, horrible, very bad day. Let's move into the third quarter now. Again, you'd think there's only one place left to go, and I would assume that's up, unless somebody else gets hurt. Miles Turner starts the quarter with a 3. Turner gets it out to Kyrie Irving inside. He's blocked by Wisham. Gets it back. Blocked again. Shot clock violation. Good defense there by Ashton Wisham. At least we're getting some blocks out of him, I guess. Scoot Henderson with the drive. He is snuffed at the rim by Miles Turner. Dallas in transition. Irving, step back over Springer. It's good. And the Mavericks lead by 35. I believe that's tied for their biggest lead of the day. Here's Griffin on the move. He gets it over to Zay Logan, who hits the 3 on the wing. Probably going to see a lot of Logan in the second half, as it is a 32-point game. Here's Griffin guarded by Griffin. Out to Irving. And the Mavericks have 100 points. We're 2.5 minutes into the second half. The defense has been abysmal. The rebounding's been abysmal. Yeah. There's Logan with the dunk. Good assist by Springer. 68-100 now. Kyrie Irving. Step back. Over Banks. No good. But there's another offensive rebound. It's A.J. Griffin with the putback. 68-104. Scoot Henderson with it. Off the screen. Henderson for 3. No good. Robinson with the rebound. He makes the layup, but it's not going to count because guess what? Somebody got hurt. Would you like to take a guess at who it is? On the shot, Scoot Henderson lands awkwardly on Kyrie Irving's ankle. To answer the question, yes, it can get worse. We have 0 healthy lead guards with Suleiman and Scoot injured. I think of our 15 rostered players, 7 of them are hurt. We only have 8 guys who can play right now. One of which is Khalil Griffin, who hits for 3. With all the injuries we've gotten this year, the fact that he hasn't gotten a scratch is very impressive. Irving 3, no good. Turner with the putback, and the lead is up to 37. 73-110. Griffin crossover. Griffin inside. He gets it to Jacoby Walker for the dunk. Khalil Griffin's playing point guard now. That's where we're at. I think Griffin's a good enough passer to where I guess he can handle it. What a block by Darius Springer. Off the 3 by Olivier Maxence Prosper. Yes, the Mavericks have brought the scrubs in the game, and we're still in the third quarter. We cannot bring the scrubs into the game because they're already in because everybody else is hurt. Good three by Springer. Lead is down to 30. Mavericks looking to answer back, and they do. It's a corner triple for Grant Williams. Duren with another offensive rebound in the putback. He's got around 40 offensive rebounds in this game. 84-119 now. 6 seconds left in the quarter. Griffin guarded by Hardy. That, my friends, is a mismatch. He's in for the slam with 23 points. And, folks, that's going to cut the lead all the way to 33. Third quarter's in the books. Dallas leads a lot to a little. I think you guys get the point. This is a butt-whooping. We don't need to see any more of this game unless somebody else gets hurt, which I really wouldn't be surprised if that's the case. The good news I have is that nobody else got hurt. I also wanted to show this cool play by Darius Springer with like 3 minutes left because his head literally went above the rim. You might be asking why we're playing Darius Springer in a game where we're down by 30 with 3 minutes left, but again, you have to realize we have 8 healthy players. We don't have a choice. That's how this game comes to a close. The Mavericks win it 154-116. Thank God the nightmare is over. The Blazers played by far their worst game of the year. The defense was abysmal, the rebounding was abysmal, and we lost 3 of our very few healthy rotation players, and we'll talk more about those injuries shortly. 34, 9, and 8 for Luka. He could have done so much more, but he didn't need to. He only had, I think, 4 points in the second half. If this was a competitive game, he probably could have scored 50, but it's partly his fault to why this game was not competitive because, well, he was so good. 24 for Kyrie, 24 for Hardy, 17 for Siakam, triple-double for Duren, 12 points, 25 rebounds, and 10 offensive rebounds. 25 boards in a game is a career high for one of the best rebounders in the league, and the most rebounds by any player in a game this year. He also had 6 assists. Duren is an awesome passer, not just in the game, but in real life, showing it here. So, yeah, if that stat doesn't tell you how bad the rebounding was, I don't know what will. The Mavs took 110 shots, 50% from 3. As for the Blazers, 24 for Griffin, 24 for Springer, 19 for Logan, and then pretty much everybody else either wasn't healthy or isn't really a rotation NBA player. The rebounding was god-awful. We got out-rebounded in this game. Get ready for this. 64-32. The Mavericks had double the amount of rebounds that we did, and Jalen Duren, on his own, nearly out-rebounded our entire team. The really bad part about that is maybe the number one emphasis I've built this team on is rebounding. That's pathetic. No other words to describe it. So as for the 3 injuries, the good news is Scoot and Porzingis aren't super serious. Scoot, I don't think, is going to miss any time. We could have brought him back in this game against Dallas. We just didn't because we were down by so much. Shaedon Sharpe as well is fully healthy, so he'll return to the rotation with Scoot Henderson. Porzingis is going to be out for around a week or 2. And then Malachi Suleiman's the really big one with the ankle. He's going to miss 6 to 8 weeks and likely won't be back until around March. The rest of the league has gotten hit hard by the injury bug as well. Jaden Hudson, torn ACL. Nikola Jokic, dislocated patella. It's not just us, although we've gotten the brunt of the injuries this year. Feels like every episode there's like 3 new ones. Today we had 3 new ones in this game. We're not going to do any more simming. We're going to wrap things up here. We already have super bad juju, so let's just stop now. And let's try to figure out, going into the next episode, nearing the trade deadline, what the plan is going to be. I haven't decided if I'm going to have the trade deadline in the next episode or the following one, but in the case that it is the next episode, let me know what you think we should do trade-wise down below in the comments, because yes, it's very clear that this team needs some depth. It's not like last year where we don't need to make moves. No, we're going to be aggressive. So let me know what you think we should do. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Peace out.